more, eager learners. I'm delighted to have you back for another Global English Competitiveness video. Today we progress to the second part of this unit, 10B, Why Make Art? Make sure to have your pen and paper ready as we embark on an interesting journey to unraveling the reasons why we make art. To recap, we have 4 can-do objectives. First, show artistic expression based on personal experiences with art. Second, express the nature of art's preliminary expression. Third, describe the various elements present in art. And fourth, evaluate concepts and theories in beauty and aesthetics. As you can remember, we have already covered our first can-do objective in the previous lesson, where you showed artistic expression based on personal experiences with art. Without further ado, let's proceed to our second can-do objective, to express the nature of art's preliminary expression. Without further ado, let's move on to Lesson 10B, Why Make Art? And here are the sub-lessons that will help us achieve our objective. Reading, vocabulary, speaking, grammar, and writing. The second lesson for this unit aims to reflect on the different reasons a work of art is created to further understand and analyze it. Getting to know how an artwork came to be in a deeper perspective helps us connect to it more. In this lesson, we will look into the 10 reasons why we create art. Now share what you understand from this quotation. To create a work of art is to create the world. You may pause this video to write down your answer. Keep in mind that the answers to this activity is subjective. Given that, let's read an example answer here. Works of art have played vital roles in history. Art pieces have so long been used to ignite and provoke a sense of passion and power that people didn't realize they had. It is a clear indication that art and creativity have the power to change the world. Art makes us appreciate the world we are living in a different level. It opens our eyes to wonders here and beyond. Without art, the world would never be the same. Well done! Now here are the reasons why we create art. Read with me. Art inspires and stimulates the human intellect. Art has been an important medium for people to express a variety of emotions and experiences for hundreds of years. But why do we really create art? Listed below are the nature of art's preliminary expression. 1. To show his or her experiences. Artists always try to see things in a perspective not commonly viewed by many. 2. To provoke. One of the reasons why an artwork is crafted is for people who look at it to ask, to talk, and to do something about it. 3. To build social connections. By creating art, an artist already has it at the back of his mind, the purpose of connecting to people. 4. To experience life. More than the goal of having other people connect to an artwork or let them get provoked by it, an artist creates art simply to experience art. 5. To influence. Creating something can be a form of therapy. 6. To express himself. Works of art have told many stories hidden in plain sight by the artists who made them. 7. To express what could be. Pieces of art make it possible to give light to the things that could happen. 8. To sell. There are artists who get paid for doing something creative. 9. To pass on and record. It takes art for people to understand, experience, and relive even the slightest detail in our history. And 10. To empower. Art influences art. Artists empower other artists. Activity 1B will require you to match sentences on the left to one of the reasons why people create art on the right side. I'll show you one example. Number 1, art has been used to tell and retell significant events in history. From what we read moments ago, it is clear that art has been used to pass on and record. Art has helped preserve significant events in history so that it can still be passed on to future generations. Now, pause the video and answer the rest of the items. Now, here are the correct answers. The next activity, 2A, will task you to match the collocations inside the box to their appropriate meanings. Here's an example. Out of all the choices inside the box, the most appropriate phrase for the first definition is common ground. True enough, common ground is defined as opinions or interests shared by each of two or more parties. Now pause the video and answer the rest of the items. Now here are the correct answers. For the next activity, you will have to choose the best word that would complete every collocation in the sentences. For example, in number 1, everyone must see through the blank truth that is hidden behind this painting. There is no expression such as concealer truth. On one hand, the phrase common truth exists, but it is not what we are looking for to complete this sentence. We can use context clues in determining answers for this activity. For example, in number 1, the word hidden gives away the answer. Therefore, the word concealed completes the collocation concealed truth. Now pause the video and answer the rest of the items. Now here are the correct answers. To understand collocations better, let me show you an example. Collocation, as defined by ThoughtCo, refers to a group of two or more words that usually go together. For example, here, it is important for humans to build social connections. The collocation social connection is pretty familiar. It is basically the relationship that you have with people around you. This part may prove to be a little challenging, especially if you're not fond of recording something. Here, you will have to record an audio file of yourself saying specific vocabulary from the lesson as a way to test your speaking skill. IPA transcriptions of the words have been included to help you articulate each word better. Listen to the example. This activity will help you pronounce words better and clearer. especially where art is concerned. Now pause the video and start recording. Well done! Now for activity 4A, you must arrange words and phrases in order to come up with a correct sentence. Let's take a look at number 1, for example. Now try to remember that the common pattern for English sentences is SVO, or subject followed by the verb and then the object. However, there are also other patterns or sentence structures that one should familiarize, like the answer for number 1, for example. The correct arrangement of these words should be: Joe Cook had been a singer before he became a famous painter. This is what we call a complex sentence. A complex sentence follows the pattern independent clause plus dependent clause. Note that there should be a subordinating conjunction in your sentence. Going back to the answer for number 1, our independent clause is Joe Cook had been a singer. Our dependent clause would be before he became a famous painter. Now pause the video and answer the rest of the items. Now here are the correct answers. Here, your grammar skill will be put to a test once more. You will provide the correct tenses of the verbs placed inside the brackets in each sentence. Remember that you have to use the past perfect tense to complete this activity. Let's take a look at number 1. The artist blank a beautiful painting. The correct verb tense for the word paint should be had painted. The past perfect tense follows this pattern: had plus the past participle of the verb. It is used to tell about actions that happened before another past action. Painted is the correct past participle of the word paint. That is why the answer had painted is correct. Now pause the video and answer the rest of the items. Now here are the correct answers. To give you a brief refresher, look at a timeline on your screen. In a past perfect tense, an action happened before another action. Now don't be confused. These two actions both happened in the past. It's just that the first action happened before the other action, or the second action. For example, I returned home because I had forgotten my homework. We have two verbs, returned and had forgotten. Had forgotten happened before returned did. All right, now we're down to our last activity. For this one, you're going to test how well you can use what you have learned all throughout the lesson into writing. You are to write down your answers to questions using the grammar points, vocabulary, and collocations you have learned. Here's an example. Question 1 says, do you agree with the 10 listed reasons why people create art? Why or why not? Keep in mind that the answers for this activity are subjective, but you must keep all the points for correction in mind. For example, I agree that the list presented in this lesson had been summarized in a clear way, the reasons why people create art. It had shown human intellect in a way that would stimulate us, learners, to connect and find common ground between ourselves and many pieces of art. Now pause this video and answer these questions. And with that, we have covered our second can-do objective, which is to express the nature of art's preliminary expression. In this session, we read a material on the reasons why we create art, enriched your vocabulary with the activities and collocations, improved your speaking skill with the recording activity, arranged words to form grammatically correct sentences, and wrote down your opinion-based answers to given questions. Your active participation has enriched our learning journey immensely. Let's carry the insights gleaned here forward as we continue to expand our horizons. That ends our Unit 10B. Keep fostering curiosity and creativity, and see you in the next lesson.